fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up.
Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you here. We are settling down for one last episode breakdown, and this is for episode 6 of Tales of the Jedi, titled Resolve. This concludes what will hopefully be the first season of Tales of the Jedi, with Ahsoka's journey, rounding off post season 7 of the Clone Wars. So this is a little bit after Rex and Ahsoka have escaped from the crash Venator, from the encounter with Jesse and the rest of the 332nd and 501st clones that were with her at the time. And we open up on Padme's funeral on Naboo, and we hone in very closely on Bail Organa, who spots Ahsoka in the crowd and catches up with her after she walks away. And he helps her get away from a patrol of clones that were searching the area. And he gives her a comlink, which presumably, sets up kind of how she's established as Fulcrum later on in the Rebels series. But we, kind of go through the motions with Bail kind of distracting the clones when they've caught up to him, and helps her get away. And very quickly, we realised that Rex was also on world. He wasn't at the funeral because obviously he couldn't disguise his armour very well. This certainly adds a little more emotional weight to everybody involved again, and kind of centres Ahsoka once again at the heart of Anakin's story as well. Also having that little addition of Rex, even if he is on the sidelines somewhat. They were both important figureheads for Anakin's journey throughout the Clone Wars, between episode 2 and 3. And then obviously to be at Padme's funeral, Ahsoka and Padme had established a really good friendship throughout the Clone Wars as well, particularly throughout season 2 and 3, I believe. They had a lot of encounters together. After Rex and Ahsoka jettison off-world, we cut to some time later where Ahsoka is on a farmland, living peacefully, helping out a group of locals. But she saves a farmer from almost getting crushed by a load of hay, after one of her, I believe her brother, was rather incompetent and just told the droid to basically weigh everything down on one side. A little bit more time has passed, and Ahsoka sets out to deliver the hay bales and supplies outside of the village where they are. The brother, after overhearing a discussion, realizes that Ahsoka is a Jedi and actually calls it into the Empire, who send the 6th brother. If you're unfamiliar with this character, he actually already appeared in Star Wars canon in the Charles Soule Darth Vader comics. Though it could be argued that this isn't the same 6th brother, but it's, there's a possibility that it could be the same one. I'm kind of leaning into the belief that it could be the same one. But the 6th brother has arrived, and the only people that are left is presumably the father, or the sort of leader of the village, and the girl's brother, who obviously turned Ahsoka in. And he's about to execute both of them for lying to the Inquisitor that, there is no Jedi here. Ahsoka steps in and saves them both, and we get one of the coolest interactions between an Inquisitor and Jedi, and this rivals even Ahsoka's battle with the 5th brother and 7th sister in Rebels, where the 6th brother goes to swipe at her with his lightsaber 2 or 3 times, and she takes him out in like 2 moves. And this is presumably given us the setup for how she gets her white crystals, because if you're unaware, in the Ahsoka novel that came out back in 2016, 15, somewhere in that ballpark, she actually was on a farmland in that book as well. She was hiding out from the Empire, but there was actually more of an Imperial presence on that world in the book, from if I remember rightly. And she does face the 6th brother, or an Inquisitor at least, and she takes his crystals and purifies them. That's how she gets her white blades that we see in Rebels and The Mandalorian. Which, just to witness this on screen was awesome, and a great addition, a welcomed addition as well. And I know that this kind of decanonizes the book a little bit more, but we're kind of moving to the point where everything that's on screen is just more important than anything that happens in the books. Like, there have been cases of this very recently with Kanan's backstory. So the very first episode of The Bad Batch, we catch up with Kanan Jarrus and Depa Billaba, and obviously the way that Order 66 plays out for Kanan is very different to the comics that we've actually got, that is also still partly canon for everything that happens after the Order 66 event. So there's a few confusing aspects to what is canon, what isn't, but I think we just have to accept that what's on screen is canon, or you can accept what you feel sounds better as canon in your mind. That's absolutely fine. After defeating the sixth brother, she calls Bail, and Bail helps get the brother and sister and the sort of father figure out of there, and tells Ahsoka that things have gotten bad, so she better be ready for a fight. After leaving Padme's funeral at the start of the episode and telling Bail that she's tired of fighting. The only other thing of note in this episode was that Ahsoka went by the name of Ashla as a cover story, which I believe was going to be the original name for the Force, and I think is used in canon by the Lasat Elder in Rebels, who references ideas of the Force as being like the Ashla and the Bogan and things like that. I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong though, so don't quote me on it. But this was awesome stuff and a great way to tie off, again, what will hopefully be the first season of Tales of the Jedi, and just an excellent conclusion to a character that has become firmly cemented and established in the Star Wars universe at this point. I'm here for it and I'm very happy to see it. So, kind of rounding off how I felt about the series, I've obviously done a larger video going into this, but I think the series is worthwhile. It's definitely worth the watch, and you should give it your time. If you've watched the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch and Rebels at this point, you're going to have a blast with this one. For me at least, Dooku's story is the most important and most enjoyable, but the tidbits we got with Ahsoka here were just equally as fun, but you didn't need to pay as close attention to them in the same way as you did with Dooku. That's going to do it for this episode though, everybody. Thank you so much for watching each of these episode breakdown videos, for checking out the larger video as well, which breaks down all of my thoughts completely regarding the entire series of Tales of the Jedi. I'm glad that you joined me on this, and hopefully you've watched this series as well. It is an incredible adventure, an incredible journey, very emotional, very heavy, and weighted with a lot of intrigue and a lot of interesting reveals that we kind of didn't have a huge amount of clarity on going into this. So if you haven't already, go and check out Tales of the Jedi. It is incredibly good, fantastic animation. Show your support, get those viewer figures up so that Disney commissions another season of this, because I want more of Tales of the Jedi. And for now at least, that's it from me. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment down below, what did you think of Tales of the Jedi? How was this episode for you? I want to hear it. Let's get a conversation going down below. And until next time though, don't forget to subscribe, take care, and may the Force be with you.